Bada boom, bada bang. Not even gonna hit you with the third bada, but this is a clean colorway. You already know Hoka comes with all the fly colorways. We have the Rocket X2 back at the shoe market for some miles today. We're also gonna be putting some respect on the daily grind. What do you think about that? And if you wanna put some respect on the daily grind, and if you are interested in joining a community of people who love training, who love running, who love taking themselves to the next level, make sure to check out the Supwell app. It's my community of hobby joggers, $5 per month. This is a community where you can come together, be accountable. I got this on the Supwell app. I'll talk to you guys about it. We also have the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace out there. We all just come together to try to help each other. They don't want you to plug your app. Supwell app, $5 a month. Get in with us. It's the holiday season coming up. You're going to need some extra motivation to stay consistent. That's what you get on the Supwell app. And there's a lot of training plans out there that'll make you good, but only one app that will make you great. Supwell, up your best.
What is up, guys? It's Saturday night. We are doing some reorganization in here. I just built one of these IKEA shelves. I'm getting all my shoes off the floor. I think I've tried over 100 shoes this year, and we have 100 shoes in here. So this is going to be a fun one. Supwell florists right here. Good spouse points to me for livening up the house with fresh flowers. But this is a dinner tonight. We have homemade pasta sauce. This is her fire sauce. It's, what is it? What do you even call it? Creamy vegan tomato sauce? Yeah, creamy vegan tomato sauce with sun-dried tomatoes. Basil or kale? Kale from the farmer's market. These are some IKEA meatballs, because we went to IKEA a few weeks ago to assemble the shelves that we're putting up tonight. So it's fitting. It's all fitting. It all comes together in the Hobby Jogger Witch's Brew. Ooh, all right, I'm hungry. I'm loopy. This is the pre-long run meal, though. You always got to bang a good bowl of pasta. Bro, this is legit crazy. We have the Bing Crosby playing out super loud, but this is legit crazy. Hundreds of shoes in here. This is wild. Shelf number 2 is assembled right there. It's going up on the other side of the wall. And dude, every time I walk in here, I'm just amazed. How do we have all these shoes? Where do they all come from? Holy. Alright, well, the camera fell, but the other tower is up. These are the twin shoe towers here. I think it's going to look pretty sick over there. I started putting some of the $160 cushioned training shoes. Well, some of them are $160, but the cushioned daily trainers right there. I don't know how I'm thinking this side's going to be comfort, and this side's going to be speed. I don't know. We're just going to have to see. We're going to have to feel it out. Just straight vibes. But this office is already looking so much better. Joanna Gaines, who? Bro, I'm going to fix this upper. That's what On needs to do. That's what On needs to do with the Cloud Boom Strike. Fix that upper. All right, we're halfway done with the first shelf here. It's looking really good. I wish I had I don't have an overhead floodlight in here, but let's take a look here. So this is all the daily trainers. I've gotten up here to shoes that I actually kind of run in, but this whole bottom shelf is stuff I've tested, $140 that I don't quite run in anymore, but it's good to have here because I recommend some of these to people. For example, boom. This is one that I haven't run in a while, but I probably should. New Balance 860. This is a banger. This is a banger. I don't know why it's down here in the disrespectful territory. Zoom Structure 25, another banger. But some of these, for example, Forever Run Nitro, nah. Saucony Ride, nah. This is the nah. This is the rather something else region right here. All these below. And now we're getting up to the good stuff. Tempest, Clifton, Adrenaline, and then Invincible, Surge 3. I don't know how the Triumph made it up here. I think just because it's $160. I'm trying to organize by price as well. But I put the Surge 3 up here because this is the real Triumph. $60, and it's a banger. $60 is more of a banger than the actual Triumph 22. Hopefully the Triumph 23 is good. All right, I've been talking already too much. Oh, the one thing I was going to say is I initially had them stacked up like this, and you could do 6 across that way. But I just didn't like how that looked. It looked messy, and this way it looks clean. This way it looks clean. This looks like how the shoe market should look. So we are getting there. I'll give an update once we have all the merch in. All right, update at 8:54. It's late. I gotta get in bed soon, but finish this entire rack here. That's 3 on each one. 12 times 3. What's 12 times 3? 36 plus 2, 38. And then over here, we've been grinding so hard this year. We ran out of dang shelves, and I bought 8 extra shelves from IKEA. So this is the comfort training shoes. This is speed, and I've started working all my way up here. We almost have race. We're going to start going race up there. You can see I started laying out the rows of 3s, but I'm going to have to go to IKEA. And that's the dead stock. Those are the dead stock bangers. Alpha Fly, Super Blast, that's your banger, not my banger. But I'm keeping that one around because it's a size 11, and my feet have been super beat up recently, so I actually might pull that back into the rotation at some point because my toe is bruised. And then we have the Prime X Strong, so that's dead stock heat. I might have to bump everything up one more level to put the dead stock heat on the bottom. But I think we have a good system here, and I'm going to need at least one more shelf. I think what I'm going to do is 2 more shelves eventually. Bang, bang. And then we can have the trail stuff in here too. And we still have a bunch of the race shoes behind me that haven't gone up that hopefully can make it up there. So we need at least 1 more. And then the other thing is I could get 2 more and then just put books on the top, which would be cool. But it's a work in progress. This is making me feel like the business is going and is a real business. And look at this. This is the Supwell sign my sister got me. Supwell, up your best. So shoe I'm going to run in tomorrow is in this box. I'm not going to do the overview tonight because I've been absolutely grinding it out here on the shelves, but I think it's looking much better in here. And once I move the lights around and everything and do the final finishing touches, this office is going to be a real office again and not a shoe addict trap house, because it's been a shoe addict trap house for the last year. But this is so much better already. Whew. All right, my back is killing me. I'm gonna have a snack and then probably try to head to bed. Charlie wants to bolt these up tonight, which is a good idea. They need to be bolted with the kids, but that's just one more piece of work. So one more piece of work and then we'll be outie. All right, morning. It is the morning. 5:30 wake up today. I should put the coffee water on. I was on 4:30 a.m. wake up all summer, but I think we're just going to be on 5:30 a.m. wake up. Now here's the thing. With this new whole shoe situation that I'm working on, I don't know where I'm going to do my indoor shoe market. I want to make it better, though. I want to make it better. Maybe my desk right now, it's a complete mess. But let's just do it in our normal spot. Yeah, I just feel like if I'm making everything better in here, my filming setup in here should also somehow, some way get better. But here's the story with these. So I got these on the Supwell app, which is my app. You guys heard of the Supwell app? Have you heard of the Supwell app? It's my app. It's $5 a month. We have the best buy, sell, and trade shoe marketplace in the world. And my friend Philip Chu was listing these. $80. $80 he was selling these for. So bada boom, bada bang. Look at this thing. So the reason he was selling them for $80, he said they'd gone on a few gravel roads and there's some minor puncturing of the foam here. That's not a big deal. Can't believe I got these. Well, I actually didn't even get these for $80. I was going to buy them for $80. And then he said, nah, bro, you're not paying. You're the Don. That's what sometimes people do. And I say, dude, it's my marketplace, but it's still a marketplace. I want to buy the shoes. And then they just send them to me for free. But shout out to Philip Chu putting in work. Look at that. He even tied the lace. That's how you know he's a real sicko. That's how you know he's a real sicko, because he knows how to tie the shoelaces in the same exact way you do when a pair of shoes is new. I've never seen anybody tie a pair of shoes like this other than the factory workers. So shout out to Philip Chu, real sicko, putting in work on the shoelace ties. Yeah, these are beautiful. So I actually had a pair of Rocket X2s earlier this year that I borrowed from a friend to do a first run review. So I haven't run in them since. It was a complete banger. To my memory, it was fast. It felt connected to the ground. It did not feel the most protective, but it felt very streamlined and still comfortable. I remember it being a touch more comfortable than the Saucony Endorphin Elite. Now this has a very lightweight upper. It almost feels like it's waterproof on the upper. It's not. It's also been out for a while now. It has been out for a while. It still has Hoka's old design language when they used to stamp these weird specs on the shoe. I don't think they even do that anymore with any of their shoes. They've moved on from that. They've moved on from some of these colors and the way that this looks here, but we haven't heard anything about a Rocket X3. No Rocket X3 news yet. And at the running event, I think people were disappointed about some of the news coming out of the running event, or lack of news coming out of the running event. It seems a lot of stuff is on embargo, or maybe brands just aren't whipping up that many new things. My theory is all the racers came out this year for the Olympics. And so next year, and with the racers, they're on a 2-year development cycle. So 2025 is going to be a down year for race shoes. And then 2026 will come back around and have a bunch more race shoes. So TRE 2025 should be popping, and I will be there. They did show a new Cielo X1 though. So this is Hoka's lighter weight, faster race shoe. They also have the Cielo X1. Let me go grab that. The filming setup's not bad in here. It's just on the floor. So I have to get up every time and I'm like a creaky old man. So this is the Hoka Cielo X1. Tons of foam in here, more foam, more aggressive rocker. It's also a heavier weight. It's almost a long run training shoe. And there's a rumor that the Cielo X2, or they're calling it the X1 V2, which is super weird because the Rocket X they made it Rocket X2. They didn't say Rocket X1 V2. If anybody knows why they're doing that, please let me know. But Cielo X. That's not good. I just got up and went straight to filming. I didn't even have any water. Cielo X1, this is the heavier guy. In the V2, they're adding more foam, but it's going to retain the same crazy balance, high stack philosophy. This is lighter weight, more streamlined. This is all about speed over the half marathon and marathon distance. So we're going to test it out for some long miles this morning, see how it does as a marathon shoe, because I remember really enjoying it, which is not, I only did one run in it. I just wasn't able to pull for it very often, but I liked it. And then this is the main competitor in my mind to it, Saucony Endorphin Elite, another shoe that hasn't been updated for a while, and the new version of it is moving away from what made this so great, which is a firm foam. This foam is so fast, but it's also on the firmer, more planted, more direct side. The Rocket X2 was, to my memory, a softer version of that. We'll see. But this also has my current marathon PR. And the difference between this and the Cielo X1 is it's so much lighter. It feels so much faster. Stripped down upper.
So I was racing through the streets of Chicago, and I got my 239 in this. And then, yeah, I did clean it up after because we have to keep our shoes looking nice. Looks fresh, right? You wouldn't even believe that there's a PR on this guy. Doesn't even look like it's been running at all. All right, enough bragging about how clean our shoes are. Let's weigh this guy in. Hoka Rocket X2 here, 238 grams. That is on the right shoe. Left shoe, QA check. Boom, 238 exactly. That is really good. They match up exactly, even with 70 or 80 miles of use. I think that's what he said. Let's compare that to the Cielo X1. This guy's coming in at 271.5 grams. That is very heavy. So again, you're getting the additional foam here from how much Hoka is able to stuff in the midsection, under the midfoot. They cut out in the back to keep it under 40 millimeters and then put a lot of foam in the midfoot. You also have a slightly softer version of this foam on top in the Cielo X1, but the bottom version is very dense and you get a lot of that. So that's where the weight is coming from. The upper is a touch on the heavier side, but it's really this bottom dense foam. And let's take a look against the Saucony Endorphin Elite. 219 grams in the Endorphin Elite. So the Endorphin Elite is lighter weight. That's surprising. I didn't realize there was going to be so much lighter weight here. Let's take a look from the back. Bada boom, bada bang. It looks like the Endorphin Elite has more foam too. So potentially we're getting a denser foam here in the Rocket X. And this also seems like a dual foam setup here where this bottom version of PIBA or polyether black amide is a touch denser than the top version above the plate. In the plate, you can see this is the line where the plate is. It's relatively low, closer to the ground, which is nice. That means we won't be getting that harsh feel up near the foot. Let's throw on one more shoe here for good measure. This is the Mach X2, which is the training version of the Rocket and my current favorite marathon training shoe right now. Absolute banger. It's fast, it's bouncy, it's fun, it's comfortable. It's everything you want in a Hoka. Great for workouts, great for long runs, and has a lot of the spirit that I remember in the Rocket X2. So we'll see if the Rocket X2 is still as good as the Mach X2, because the Mach X2 is now one of my favorite shoes of the year. This thing is really good. And actually, when this thing came out and when I first reviewed it, I said, bro, I don't even know what this category is for anymore. This category of training shoes that are kind of like worse race shoes, but it proved me wrong. It proved me there's still a place for a more comfort-oriented speed shoe, which is what this is. And then last one, throw it on here. But did I even say the weight? I think I did, but I was just rambling. 268. So that's lighter than the Cielo X1. But last one here, Skyward X. So tall, we have to readjust the camera. We have to back up here for the Skyward X. This thing is a beluga whale of a shoe. This is the training version of the Cielo X1. So lots of foam. It's almost near 50 millimeters in the back. Very bouncy, cushioned, and protective. This is all about comfort and fun. Not a shoe that I'll use for speed, but if I want to have a nice stroll, a run stroll, could you have a run stroll? If I want to have a nice jog around the neighborhood and have some fun, this is it. I have not had a bad run in the shoe. It's a complete banger. So this is more about comfort. Mach X2 is more about speed. And then if you look at the Rocket and the Skyward X, or the Cielo X1, that's the same thing. Cielo X1 would be like the Skyward X, more about comfort in a racing shoe, and then Mach X2 or Rocket X2 is more about speed here. So speed, comfort, speed, comfort. These are the training shoes. These are the racing shoes. Man, Hoka has a lot of bangers right now. Breakfast time.
figure out my plan for this run this morning. So I was initially thinking earlier this week that I would go to the trails and do it, but I went on a trail run Friday and I just didn't feel like the vibo, as Charlie said, would be to do a 4 to 5 hour, likely 5 to 6 hour adventure this morning and leave everybody and be back at noon or 1. So no trail today. We're going to do it around the neighborhood. I'm thinking 22 miles. I always say 22 miles at least, but today I'm feeling like let's just do 22 miles and not be a hero. So that's what I'm thinking right now. 22 miles in the Rocket X2. I have not run marathon pace in a while. The thing is, my legs are sore, which is good. This is really good. I was trying to trigger some DOMs, as you guys say. Whenever I hear the word DOMs or see it spell out, I just think of a guy from Jersey. I'm trying to trigger DOMs. Bro, DOMs is triggered. He doesn't like when you say that word. He's a very sensitive fellow. But yeah, I'm trying to trigger some DOMs, some delayed onset muscle soreness, to help get stronger. This is what all the people, my trail folks, Santiago and Nathan, they keep telling me I gotta trigger DOMs. Sean Robbins was telling me too, you gotta go trigger DOMs, bro. Go trigger DOMs. So we triggered DOMs. It's fully triggered. He might walk out of this dang seminar. He's so triggered. Yeah, my quads, they're beat up for sure. And the way that you trigger DOMs is, it's just fun to say, trigger DOMs. You got to run downhill fast. So I did 2,000 feet of elevation gain Thursday across 2 workouts, 27 miles around the neighborhood. Friday, I did a 2-hour trail run. Turned out to be 13 and a half miles. And that was about 1,000 feet of elevation gain. So this ultra that I'm doing, it's 2 weeks from yesterday. It's 50K, so 31 miles with 5,000 feet of elevation gain. So a 22-mile long run in a Carbon County marathon shoe with marathon pace isn't the type of workout that is specific to helping me execute the 50K, but sometimes you just got to trigger DOMs. No, sometimes you just got to work with what you have. And I haven't run marathon pace in a while, so it'd be nice to get a few sets or a few miles at least of marathon pace in. Spin the legs. That's the thing. I don't like going too long without running marathon pace or any pace. So while I am training for 50K right now, it's all about general principles of training, especially in a more generalized introductory base building period, which I'm at right now, capping it off with that 50K. It's really important that I'm touching on all the speeds and that I don't just slide back into doing all relaxed miles, which is super easy to do if I'm getting a ton of mileage. At the end of this run, if I go 22, I'll be at 120 miles. So at that level, it's super easy. I hear Reevesy. Reevesy? What's up? You're awake? It's not awake time yet. It's sleepy time. This is just a complete, I don't even know. Complete. The reason this happened is because Mason's new school starts at, they have to leave the house at 7, so everyone has to be up at 6 during the week. And so even on the weekends, dude, it just turned 6. It just turned 6, and this 2-year-old is in the middle of the hall trying to get hype. Bro, go to sleep. Your brain needs to grow. Nobody tells these kids that, man. But yeah, what I was saying is it's important to touch on every pace during training so that we're not declining too much and that we can maintain. So even if I do 6 miles of marathon pace this morning, that's still some good maintenance work. And then depending on how I feel, because my legs have been very beat up from putting them through the grinder of mileage and volume and elevation this week, depending on how I feel, maybe do some downhill repeats to get more of that DOMs, to get more of those eccentric contractions. So the whole point of the DOMs thing is strengthening the quads, because 5,000 feet of elevation gain, that's 5,000 feet down, and those quads can take a big
beating on those downhills. So that's the plan for today. I'm going to pop my bagel in or whatever. I don't even know if we have bagels. I don't think we do. So pop some toast in, finish this coffee up, and then we can hit the road. Probably hang out with the kids for a bit since they're up at 6. Crazy. Look at that. No burnt toast today. I probably could have even crisped it a touch more, especially on this left one, but I'm erring on the side of underdone versus overdone, given my horrible track record of char. But no char today. Alright, this is the full breakfast this morning. I'm going Team Rosebread sourdough bread. This is from our friends over at Team Rosebread. I just said it, but I got it from the farmer's market. Absolute fire. We went through a full loaf of their regular sourdough yesterday. I think this is the honey and oat sourdough. It's really good. And then I put some crunchy TJ's peanut butter. This is the worst peanut butter, by the way. It's so wet. It's so wet. I prefer Justin's because it has palm oil in it. I know palm oil isn't always the best, but the user experience of no stir peanut butter is so much better. This is dripping everywhere. This is dripping everywhere. And then this is local honey. I know I'm going to have people up in the comments talking about, no, the no stir peanut butter isn't as healthy. Okay. Go trigger Doms, bro. Yeah, wildflower, local honey, complete flames. You can taste the flowers in this. Super good. And then coffee this morning. By the way, I brought the butter out because I was going to do butter and jam, but I did not do it. Oh, and by the way, this is the best vegan butter now. It's so much better than Earth Balance. I don't know why. It just is. It hits. And the coffee is from our friends over at Hatchet. One sip, everybody knows the rules. Hold on, this is the Ethiopian Natural. One sip, everybody knows the rules. That's some raspberry jam and cocoa. That was really good. Alright, I'll see you after this. One last thing I want to say is, man, the consistency of these long runs makes them so much easier. I was just thinking about this. I went 30 miles last week, so now 22 miles is going to feel like a walk in the park after just being so consistent with it and varying the length. I also went 19 in the middle of the week for my midweek workout, so this 22 should hopefully not feel terrible. For music, by the way, I'm listening to Currency this morning. I did listen to the new Kendrick 4 or 5 times yesterday. It's fire. And I probably will listen to it again, but I've just been in a Currency vibe. I was assembling those shelves last night for the shoes. I can't listen to Kendrick, aggressive, angry Kendrick. No, I gotta listen to Currency. Talk about respecting the product and grinding. Currency has more cars than I do shoes. It's crazy. Early morning chopping the oatmeal. You eating cranberry sauce? Starting the Thanksgiving? Supwell Kitchen Thanksgiving. Oh, and you're making orange juice? Oh, it's for the cranberry sauce? Oh, fire.
Yeah, that's why I said.
Yeah, yeah.
And you said no.
I thought you were kidding. I didn't realize.
Take a picture of this. Did you help squeeze all the oranges? Thanks, buddy. That's fire. Let me squeeze all the... Oh, gosh. Dude, it's cold out here, man. It is so cold. And the trees, I told you, the trees were going to get barren. They are completely barren. These guys are stripped. There's no leaves. I told you, the week of Thanksgiving, it's going to start looking like winter out here. It's looking like winter. I do still see some yellows and reds over on that side, but man, it is cold. And one of the benefits of running in the cold or using a race shoe in the cold is that these guys are way more resistant. And shout out to Philip again for making these all nice. But these guys are way more resistant to cold temperature. The race foam in here, the PEBA, the polyether block amide, it doesn't get as firm in the cold as a standard training foam like an EVA. So we're going to be bouncy, but also hopefully we'll get some of that softness, because everything, and even the ground feels harder in the cold. We feel creakier, but if we can get some nice squish, it'll be a lovely day. So man, this upper is so dialed in. It feels like a wetsuit, on my foot, like a hydrophobic speed suit. This is like something Michael Phelps would wear. That's the vibe of this upper. It feels so, not tight, but it's like saran wrapped to the top of my foot. It's wild. I've never felt an upper like this before. It's like suction cupped to my foot. It's crazy. By the way, one of my toes, my big toe on my left foot, is just completely purple. Which is not good, but we're just gonna power through. I do have some emergency size 11s. That Super Blast OG is a size 11, and my SC Elite V4 is a size 11, so I might be pulling those out to protect my toes. But this is a 10.5, fits true to size. I might lose this toenail after this run, but that's the price we pay for going to Carbon County sometimes. Whew. Alright, we'll walk test. I'm gonna put my gloves on. It's cold, baby, cold. Man, we can talk later. It is cold. I'm gonna assemble my GoPro inside. Holy cow, it is so cold. These they feel good. They feel decently stable. They feel comfortable. It's a good fit. It feels like a comfortable, fast race shoe, which is a hard blend. Way more comfortable on foot than the Endorphin Elite here. It's like you took the Endorphin Elite, mixed it with the Vaporfly, and bada boom, bada bang, densed it up a bit. That's what you get here. So we'll see how it does for a 22 miler, but decently comfortable for what it is. All right, I'm gonna go inside to this GoPro, and then we're gonna leave. It is freezing. Alright, time to hobby jogger up and brave the elements out here. Man, if all you guys in Canada and Bulgaria can do it, I can do it too. The thing is, I didn't sign up to live in Canada or Bulgaria. I moved to Charlotte for a reason. It's supposed to be nice. Early overreaction. My legs are feeling pretty beat up. My stride feels short. I feel tight, so it's gonna take a few miles to warm up in here. But this is a comfortable speed shoe. The cushion here is nice. I can't feel the plate. And it's just as good as I remembered. And it's decently stable at this slow jogging speed. Yeah, I feel pretty choppy out of the gates here in the cold, so hopefully 34 miles in, feel a little bit smoother in these things. Even sin is cold, I can see it. First straightaway here. I don't know if marathon pace is gonna be in the cards this morning. We'll see after I get warmed up, but this might just be cruising miles. This might be slow miles. I feel so just tight and not fast. But I haven't hit 120 in a while, so this is what happens. And this is what I always say, if we can't do speed, just get the mileage. Something is better than nothing. So maybe just cruising in the cold this morning. Mile one, I'm not even gonna check the splits, and I don't even need to check the splits to know that was extremely slow. So, plodding along here. We're just gonna accumulate some mileage. Well, I'm really at the end of my effective benefits period for this ultra. So crushing a 22 on tired legs should give me some strength benefits. And this is not about speed, this ultra. I would have liked to get speed this morning, but we'll see. I'm gonna get the desired benefit either way, as long as I get the 22. Honestly, man, this is where you separate the winners from the whiners. It's cold, my legs are shot. It's time to party. It's time to party. This is a mileage festival. Forging winners out here this winter, baby. Get in with me. You can sleep or you can slug.
And mile 2, 7:44 pace. There's the old Camry just, that must be, what is that person doing? Just driving as slow as I've ever seen, just going around me. Please be patient, student driver. You're not a student driver. That woman was, I can tell you, she's not a student driver. At least she didn't hit me though, thankfully. Yeah, this is gonna be a slow morning to start, but we gotta trust in a good warm up here to get us where we need to be. So I'm gonna give this 4 miles on the warm up, 30 minutes to really get into it. At these paces, this is definitely not the shoe I would pick. From Hoka, I would much rather have the Cielo. Or from other brands, I'd rather have the SC Elite. This is most definitely a ripping shoe. And if I knew my legs were gonna be this zapped, I thought they were gonna be zapped, but not this zapped. If I knew they were gonna be this zapped, I might have picked the SC Elite, especially to give me some more room up in the toe box. We're gonna make do with this. See if I can spin the legs for, man, even 1 mile would be good. We'll see that. And here's the thing, there are very few bad shoes left on the market in 2024. Most running shoes are good for something, even if it's just a 30-minute jog. But there are very bad shoe choices, like taking the Alpha Flies for running 10 minutes on the treadmill and then doing some deadlifts. That's a great shoe, but bad shoe choice for that use. Right now, freezing cold, 22 miler at a struggling pace. Rocket X2 is a bad shoe choice for this. But I didn't know. And that's why I always talk about with these marathon shoes, there's a few different categories. And the more aggressive shoes like this one, it's not gonna feel great if you're fading or struggling to maintain composure in a marathon. And I'm fading at mile 3. No, I'm not. But you just gotta chip away at this warm up. The reason I'm saying it's not the optimal shoe choice, it feels very streamlined, low to the ground at these slower paces, not the most protective. Counterintuitively, the faster I'm going, the better the protection feels. Just something about running with the speed mechanics just makes the shoe work well. Running with these more relaxed mechanics feels almost like a Vaporfly. But that's why the Cielo exists, for this exact purpose. Mile 3.5 here, by the way. I'm gonna take the first gel and then try to run fast at mile 4. So first gel today, we have the Torque Caramel Latte caffeine gel. This one is fire. It really tastes like a caramel latte. It's crazy. These Torque gels are something else. That was the most deer I'd ever seen. They were all down at the creek. That's crazy. All right, working down the marathon pace. Woo! Uphill. Mustard! Woo! 5:51. 5:51. That's why they call me the Don. It's not about the gosh dang shoes, because I'm a made man with the mileage. There's a lot of frauds out here. Get them whacked today. We're cleaning up the streets today. No more mileage frauds. Spinning the legs during a 120-mile week. That's why they call me the Don. We're cleaning them up. Uphill power. You gotta live in the pain, man. You gotta live in the uphill pain. These other boys just going on vacation to the pain. We live in the pain. Ah. I love it. I'm really sick. I love being underrated. I love being slept on. I love grinding in the pain. Let's go. They don't know. They don't know. 604 uphill. They don't know. They don't know me. They're about to, though. Grind. Told you we're cleaning them up today. A lot of frauds out here. The Don is back. Let's go. Let's go. I'm really sick in the head this morning. You gotta build a home in that pain, baby. These boys just getting timeshares. That's not gonna work out. They're not built like this. We put down a concrete foundation. It's the Pain province. Building a solid 5,000 square foot house in Pain province. These boys just want to take a day trip. They're not built like this. They are not built like this. We just went 4 at marathon pace. That was beast. That was beast. I told you, you gotta boss yourself up. You gotta tell yourself, nobody can do it like I can do it. You gotta tell yourself, I'm the gosh dang one. Until you believe it. You better believe I believe it. We earn this swag through blood, sweat, and miles. I didn't just wake up one day and say, I want to come out here and pop off my mouth. We earned it. Let them sleep. The longer they sleep, the bigger of a beast I become. If they're doubting you, man, there's only one question to ask. Are you sure? They're not sure. These boys are not sure. They're not sure about anything. So I'm gonna take this as a recovery mile, have a gel, and then next mile, spin again. We're spinning again, spinning those legs. We're gonna live in that pain today. Pain province. Pain province. They don't want it with the slugs. They don't want it with the demon slugs. They thought I was getting soft because I popped out with the IKEA. All right, next set. Let's go. The longer they sleep, the bigger we get. 6:05. We just leveled up. Leveled up. One more mile. We don't cramp. We don't fade. Can't fake effort. That was complete savagery and brutality. My legs are schmammered, hammered, and tender as biscuits from a country grandma. But guess what? We're gonna recover and then we're gonna spin again. We're finding something today. We're finding something today. It's repetitive consistency, consistent repetition, hammering. This is what gets me fired up. These long runs, just grinding. I love it. I really love it. Because our success out here is 100% dependent on ourselves. There's nobody else who can run these miles. There's nobody else who can help me recover. There's nobody else who's gonna come out here and smash a hill when the legs are feeling like this. That's what you gotta remember. There's no one to blame for failures in running except for ourselves. And there's no one who can celebrate the successes that we earn except for ourselves. And man, we gotta live in this beautiful fatigue. So we have 8 miles down at marathon pace so far. It's mile 13. I'm gonna take a recovery mile, take one more gel. I'm gonna do more caffeinated, and then hit one more set of marathon pace. It's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be gritty, but that's how we build. What did Einstein say? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, seeing the same results. Or is that Thomas Edison? One of those smart guys. And I think doing the same thing over and over again and seeing the same results is commitment, because that's what it's going to be for a long time. If you want to start a business, if you want to get better at running, 10 miles is going to be a struggle fest. Just keep grinding out that 10 miles, doing the same thing over and over. It is a little bit gosh dang insane, but that's how you get results. Commitment, vision, and belief. Doing the same thing over and over. You have to be a little bit insane to come out here and grind out 20 milers every weekend. I think I have to be a little bit insane. And I really believe that's the only thing that separates me from anybody else, is just commitment. I don't do anything special. I'm just committed. It's the easiest thing. It's not the easiest thing. It's the simplest thing in the world. Just be committed. Just do something every day. But guess what? Not everybody can do that. Not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody's willing to do what it takes. And that's it. That's really it. Everyday grind. If you can grind every day, you'll grow. That's it. It's simple. I'm just giving out free game. It's not a shoe review. It's life instructions. You gotta wake up in Pain Province, pour yourself a big old mug of consistency coffee, put your steel wool socks on, and get to grinding. It's simple, but not a lot of boys want to go that route. And that's what sets apart the slugs from everybody else. All right, last set here, 4 more miles. Let's gosh dang tear the mustard off the road. Mustard! It's the Hobby Jogger theme song. Squeeze the last 5% on this hill. It's easy to be average. It's not easy to be great. Another hill, another chance to be great. We're flipping pancakes on the griddle. All right, that's it. I am shuffling. That was everything that I had on the last set of 4. And the last uphill mile was 6:18 pace. The last set was the slowest, but I love it because I rarely ever fade. So if I do, and that fade is only 10-15 seconds, but that means I'm at my capacity, which is what I was trying to get to today, to the point of failure. It's funny because in running, not a lot of coaches preach doing reps till the point of failure, but it's very common in lifting. And my goal is to build strength before this ultra, and man, I'm telling you, these legs are at the point of failure. That was something like 4 or 5 straight 100-mile weeks, and we're at 116 miles right now. We're gonna cap off at 120. So I'm just gonna jog it out to 22 at mile 18 right now. That was a good workout. And here's the thing, man. I'm out here popping off my mouth, trying to hype myself up, get into it. And it works, it really works. But what I was gonna say is commitment is a choice. We can't choose to be the most talented or the smartest or be born into a family with the most resources, but we can choose to be the most committed. That's why I love the daily grind. It's a choice to wake up every day and to execute the plan that we laid out against our goals. We can't choose to be the tallest or the fastest or the strongest, but we can choose to be the most committed and to execute. And not everybody makes that choice. Now that's my choice. And I know a lot of people watching the channel, that's what you guys choose too. That's the Supwell way. Choose commitment. Commitment and consistency. It's not always foliage and blue skies. Sometimes it's faded legs and cramping thighs, which is what we have right now. We're gonna thug it out to mile 22. My last gel, by the way. Now here's the thing about the gels. Not everyone likes to use as many gels as I do. And especially for ultra training, and some people would argue that it's better to try to train under fueled or fasted. For me, if I don't fuel properly before and during my workouts, I'm a complete mess the rest of the day. And so this running is only one part of my day, and doing all these gels, this one right now, I do not need this for the performance of the run. But getting in another 40 carbs or whatever it is to close out this last 30 miles is gonna ensure that when I finish the run, I'm not a complete mess and in a terrible mood and unable to be a dad. So that's fueling for me, is not just the run. It really helps the rest of the day too. And I'm gonna need to make sure I get some good calories right away. And holy cow, I can barely jog up this hill. All right, we have the rhubarb and custard torque gel. I'm gonna take this thing and then I'll see you guys back up at the crib. Wow, that really did taste like rhubarb and custard. That's wild. They're geniuses over there at Torque. Mad scientists. The wreaths are out, man. Let them go Christmas shopping, that's fine. We're gonna be emptying the tank. They're gonna be eating turkey and stuffing, laying up watching football. We're gonna be getting the miles in. The only thing I'm mashing this year is kilometers. No potatoes on my table. Just kidding, that's a complete lie. This boy's still trying to talk to me about science. Up in the comments talking about Steve Magnus. They call me Steve Swagness. Talking about Tim Noakes. They call me him Noakes. It's Mr. Mac Daniels out here. And guess what, man? I've got a PhD too. Pain, hills, and dedication. That's the streets PhD right there. Mr. Him Noakes. It's a bunch of Tim jokes out there.
Those older kids. You're an angel already. Just kidding. You are. But...
It's a production over here. Picking one up. Alright, come this way. You want to be a boss? Alright, man, we're back up here from demon time to dad time. We have young Mace McGace in the house. What's up, dude?
What's up?
Apparently, there's some sibling drama, so we gotta split them up. So, 22 miles, 7:04 pace, 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 17 seconds. Ooh. Oh, and there's Charles in the mom wagon going to Trader Joe's. It's a whole operation over here. She's getting everything ready for Thanksgiving. But man, that was an absolute grind fest. We just closed out a 120-mile week. That was solid. That was really solid. And these Rocket X2s, man, these things were singing on those marathon pace reps. Absolutely singing. And look at this. Look at all these lines right here. We were compressing the mustard out of this foam today. That is wild. How you doing?
Good.
You're good?
Daddy.
You put your Christmas stars up?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even know that. I'll take a look.
We have one over there and we have one on top of it.
That's fire. Oh, it sounds like you have a little bit of a cold. Is that why you were giving mommy attitude? No. rating. All our cords are plugged in today. And look at that, Rocket X2 looking crispy. This video is not even about the Rocket X2. It's about the daily grind. It's about the daily grind. Let's throw up the splits today. And here's the thing. There's a lot of training plans out there. There's a lot of science out there. There's a lot of different pace ranges that correspond to different percentages of heart rate maximum. And there's different protocols that can trigger different adaptations. And you can structure your training in such a way so that you progress it over time, and you can periodize your training and optimize it so that you have increasingly more stimulus and your body adapts to that higher workload. But unless you're showing up to the race day full of swag, all that hard work is gonna be gosh dang worthless. And that's the Supwell way, baby. We're gonna give you some swag. We're gonna give you some swag. And here's the thing, I've said this before, training plans can make you good. They can't make you great. That comes from in here and in here. Gritting it out and gutting it out. Grits and guts. That's not a southern dish. Well, it probably is a southern dish. Some grits and guts. You want some grits and guts? I'm talking about, this is what we're serving up here on the Supwell channel. Grit and guts. That's how you become a stronger runner. So I'm coming out here, put up a $120 this week, 120 miles a week. I'm proud of that because that took a lot of, it's not just coming out here, and this is where it gets misconstrued sometimes. It's not just coming out here and trying to tear the tarmac off the top of the road. There's a lot of, man, this week was a lot of recovery, icing, Epsom salt, figuring out when I could push, when I had to pull back, really going up to the brink, running through discomfort. Even this morning, my knee was hurting and I wasn't sure if I could push, but trusting that the warm-up would melt away that discomfort and that we'd be locked in and good to go. So it's a lot of putting in the work, trusting the system, and being confident that we can do it. That's so much of it. That's why I say the training plans can make you good. They can't make you great. That comes from up in here. That's where the confidence is. And then just gutting out through the pain. We were living in pain province this morning, and it's a beautiful thing. We earn the fatigue. So I've been saying this week, beautiful fatigue. If you want to get better as an endurance athlete, I've said it once, I've said it dozens of times. If you want to get better as an endurance athlete, you have to live in this state of permanent fatigue for 10 to 12 weeks. There's no freshness. There's no freshness. If you're running all your workouts fresh, you're going to be good. You're not going to be great. You become great by running your workouts tired and executing those workouts tired. Now, that's not getting 5-6 hours of sleep. That's pushing yourself 2 or 3 times a week, getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And man, for most of us hobby joggers, that could be 6.5 hours of sleep because that's all we can gosh dang do. And a lot of the books are going to say you have to get 8 hours to 9 hours of sleep. They don't have swag. You can get by on 6.5 hours if you need to. If you're a mom or a dad, or you're working night shifts, you're gonna be getting 6.5 hours. But guess what? If you can't sleep 8, make sure your nutrition is on point. Make sure you're not under-recovered by drinking a ton of alcohol and putting your body in more stress. So these are little things we can do to make sure that we give ourselves the best shot at executing hard on all of our days of intensity. So in the past week, last Sunday I did a 30-mile long run. I took a few days down after that because I was beat up, so I did 14 double on Monday. I did 6 on Tuesday. I was extremely beat up. I felt like I could barely bend my left leg because something was going on there. But man, I did 6-mile recovery run, iced, Epsom salt bath, and then got out there the next day with an 18-mile double on Wednesday. Thursday, we did our 27-mile double. That was my peak workout for this block here. That was 2,000 feet of elevation gain on the hills. Friday, I did another 21-mile double with 2 hours on the hills. Yesterday was 10 miles on the treadmill. I usually only do 4 miles on Saturday, but I really want to trigger these adaptations. And then today was a 22-mile long run with all this pace. So the reason I'm saying this is not to brag about the mileage. There is a theory by a coach named Canova. I don't know if it's a theory, but he has a philosophy, a protocol, if you will. It's called special block training. What is special block training? Well, for his athletes, what he would do, this is for the marathon specifically, he would do one day where you stack 2 workouts at marathon pace. In the morning, you do something like 8 miles at marathon pace, and then in the afternoon do 6 more miles. So you go boom, back to back, 2 hard workouts on the same day. I just did a 4-day special block for the ultra marathon, and because I have such a condensed timeline here, I only had 3 weeks from the start of when I signed up to the race. From my experience, I believe you can get adaptations up to 10 days before that race, so I'm pushing it up to against. So I just did 4 days special block, hills, and mileage coming into this run today with 57 miles in the past 3 days on my legs. That's a lot of mileage to simulate what it might be like to run some hills on tired legs. I don't have a super hilly course out here, so instead of doing hills, and because I do eventually want to go back and run another marathon, running some marathon pace on tired legs. So this is a dual benefit workout, practicing marathon pace again, and again, working a bunch of different pace ranges is super important. The reason it's so important is illustrated in this workout. The first mile felt terrible. I actually felt like I was clicking my heels together like Dorothy. The kids were watching Wizard of the Oz the other day, so it's not my mind. But I felt that my legs were rubbing together. I felt so inefficient on the first mile of marathon pace because I haven't run that pace in, 2 weeks. I did a tempo run maybe a week and a half ago or 2 weeks at that pace. And so my running economy, how efficient I am at that pace, went away, and it took 10-15 minutes to feel that I could actually run that pace and that my mechanics were good again. It was so weird because I've just been doing a ton of these shuffling miles. So that's why it's important even during base building, and especially during base building when we're increasing our mileage to new levels that we haven't reached before, to run different paces so that our mechanics still are closer to what they'll be on race day. And the more miles we get, the more likely our pace or form is to degrade. So that's why we're working in some faster paces solid, and that's what we did this morning. So that's the first benefit, marathon pace. Second, 5,000 feet of elevation gain. That is what we're going to need to get on race day. And there is no simulating climbing a giant mountain. There's just not. It's going to be hard. It is going to be very hard to climb that mountain. However, running 12 miles of marathon pace at the end of a 120 mile week after getting 3,000 feet of elevation gain in the past 3 days, that's a pretty close approximation to the fatigue. So it's mental. A lot of running, man, is mental. Yes, it's a different physical challenge to climb a hill, but man, doing 3 sets of 20 to 30 minutes of hard marathon pace on extremely tired legs, man, my recovery mile between the second and third set, let's throw up these splits here. I don't know what it was, but it felt like an 8:30, or it was very slow, that recovery mile. And then as soon as I finished that last set, I was clipping off a 10-minute or 9:30 pace. So I completely emptied the tank on that last set, which was the desired outcome. I wanted, and I can feel right now, even if I'm just standing here, my glutes are really sore, and I'm going to need to refuel properly. I'm going to need to have a lot of calories to replenish and make sure my sleep is good for the next few days. But so those were the 2 benefits, right? Practicing marathon pace again, locking in the mechanics, and I'm not going to be running with marathon pace mechanics in the mountains in West Virginia in 2 weeks. So the second benefit here was that fatigue resistance and the mental challenge, so that when I get out there and I'm climbing that huge hill, I can say, gosh dang, I did 12 miles at marathon pace at the end of a 120 mile week. This little mountain's nothing. These boys in the West Virginia mountains have no swag. What do they know about the Supwell slugs? So Hoka Rocket X2, this is a marathon racing shoe, aggressive, fast, fun foam here, extremely lively. Man, this thing is a complete banger. This is really a banger. This is the best version of what the Nike Vaporfly is trying to do, what the Asics Metaspeed Edge Paris is trying to do. This and the Saucony Endorphin Edge are the 2 best shoes, and I'm going to need to do a head-to-head at some point, but 2 very similar shoes. This is a touch softer and friendlier at those slower paces. So let's start it up again. When I was warming up, you heard me out there. I said, oh my gosh, I wish I had the Cielo on right now. And at those paces, man, the Cielo would be better, the Skyward X would be better, the Mach X2 would be better. All of those shoes would be better than this. But as I got into the marathon pace, and by the way, I didn't plan this workout. You saw it just unfolded. I said, I'm just going to get 1 mile at marathon pace. And again, this is the mental side of running. I wasn't lying to you. I didn't have this workout planned in my head. I just said, I'm gonna get 1 mile. Let me just get 1 mile at marathon pace, baby. And then, what do they say in baseball? A bloop and a blast. That's all it takes to change the momentum. A bloop and a blast. I got that 1 mile. That was the bloop, and then we blasted off and got a few more. And then I said, okay, I got 4. Let's stack it. Let's stack it. Let's do another set, and let's do another set. So that's what it is to train by feel and vibes, and why I am such a proponent of learning our body. There's no gosh dang training plan that's going to program the diabolical special block that we just did in the last week, a 30-mile long run, a 27, and then this. That's all heart, and we have to learn ourselves to know how hard we can push and to even push past it. But yeah, when we're not pushing, this is not a relaxed cruising shoe. I'm sure there's going to be someone out there who says, I love the Rocket X2. I used it for a 4-hour marathon, or I use it as a daily trainer. I would not be using this as a daily trainer. I did not like it for those relaxed miles. It's better than the Edge Paris, and it's better than the Saucony Endorphin Elite, and much better than the Vaporfly for those relaxed miles, but it comes alive, and its best use case where it feels that it is accomplishing its job that it was designed to do is when I'm running those marathon pace miles. So if you look at the splits here, running at 6 flat, 6:10, 6:05, this thing feels so nice, and the more efficient I felt, the better the shoe felt. So as I was locking into being lighter on my feet, really picking it up, that's where the shoe came alive. Now there's not a huge wide platform. I wish I had another shoe to compare it to. I just have my Crocs recovery slides on. But yeah, it's not a huge wide platform here. It's fairly narrow in the back. The stability is actually okay. It just, there's not a lot to land on. And unlike the Cielo, unlike the SC Elite, even the Saucony Endorphin Pro 4, it doesn't feel that soft and squishy in the back here. It feels softer and squishier up here in the front. And that might have something to do with this dual foam thing. I don't even know if it's dual foam, but just the way that it's set up here, maybe it's something with the drop. It feels a lot better, a lot more comfortable when running fast and activating this foam up in the forefoot, but extremely lightweight, not harsh at all. That is the one thing. So it's not even discomfort. It just doesn't feel that great to be running slow, but it's not a harsh shoe. It is an aggressive shoe, but it's not harsh. I couldn't feel the plate pounding. I could feel that I was lower down to the ground, closer to the ground. There's a lot of control and proprioception, so ground feel. It's a very connected feeling shoe. It's a lean, mean running machine. It's not a big and bloated shoe like that SC Elite, like that Cielo, even like the Alpha Fly. That feels like a lot more shoe on foot. This feels very lean. Now, would I run a marathon in it? Absolutely. Very similar to the Saucony Endorphin Elite. I like the feeling of a shoe like this on race day, that stripped down, streamlined feel. I do not want a lot of bulk on foot, and that worked out for me really well. That's why I went for the Saucony Endorphin Elite over the Alpha Fly and over the Cloud Boom Echo. Both of those shoes, Alpha Fly and Cloud Boom Echo, are great shoes. I don't like the feeling of all that soft foam underfoot. So most people are really going to love this for the half marathon distance and below. If you also are like me and you like the feeling of a more streamlined shoe on race day versus a big bulky shoe, then you will like this as well. Now, grip. Lots of coverage here. It is very dry out here this morning, so I'm not sure how this would do. I do have to say though, in Chicago, I wore the Endorphin Elite. That has hands down the worst grip of any race shoe I've tested this year, and through all those water stations in Chicago, I was slipping and sliding. But here's the thing, you slow down to grab a water cup and then you speed up anyway, so it wasn't a huge deal. Now, if it were pouring rain on the course, that might be a different question, and I did have a few people tell me, or one guy tell me a few months ago that he wore the Endorphin Elite when it was pouring rain, and I think he said he got like 3 minutes off of his previous PR with a similar effort, and he thinks a lot of it is from the grip, and he was slipping and sliding. So I don't think you'll have as bad of an issue with the grip here. I wouldn't wear it on any trails, of course, because you do have the Rock Catcher 5000, but the plate is nice. It's perfect. It's not too aggressive. It's shaped really well, and this is a shoe that, like the Edge Paris, feels specialized to my mechanics. It feels like the shoe is designed for me. But unlike the Edge, it's more fun. It still is a fun and bouncy shoe when running fast. So use case for me, fast workouts, a long run like this where I'm going to be doing a lot of marathon pace or a half marathon or marathon race. Last thing on the shoe is the upper. So dialed in. This feels like a super suit. You feel like a superhero putting this thing on because it just feels so perfect. It just adapted to my foot. I didn't get any of the rubbing and jamming, by the way, up in the front. My left big toe is blue, but it was not worsened by the shoe, thankfully. So overall, this is a complete banger, just as good as when I first reviewed it. Even better maybe, because we did a long run today. First run was only 10 miles. So this is up there in the top tier. This is up there in the top tier with the Endorphin Elite, with the Alpha Fly. I actually will take this over the Cloud Boom Echo, or have I been saying Echo? I mean Strike, the Cloud Boom Strike, the most recent on shoe. I would take this over that because it has more of that streamlined feel, and I prefer it for race day. Cloud Boom Strike is a more comfortable shoe. Maybe I would take that as a long run cruiser when I'm not picking it up, but man, this is a top tier shoe. This might be tied with the Endorphin Elite for me. Really awesome shoe. I don't know even how they're going to improve it, and maybe that's why they haven't announced a Rocket X3, because this thing is just such a hit. It's such a banger. So if you see one pop up on the Supwell app, make sure to pick it up. It's a sleeper, and the only reason it's a sleeper is because it came out, what, 2 years ago, and it's $250. Not that that's cheap. Is it $250? It's either $250 or $260, and that's not cheap, but given the way the market is going, with all the shoes going up to $275 and above, it's a fair price. It's a fair price. And I should have mentioned Puma Deviate Elite 3. That's another good one. I probably would personally take this over the Deviate Elite 3. This feels like it has more of that it factor for me. The Deviate Elite 3 is a solid shoe, but it just didn't have that special extra quality that elevates it to, man, this is going to help me really rip on race day. The Endorphin Elite had it. It's hard to even describe with that shoe. It just feels right on foot. That's the same thing with this. It just feels so dialed in. The Deviate Elite 3 is just something about it wasn't perfect for me, but it's still a really solid shoe. So top tier race shoe for sure. Absolute banger. We're out here grinding. We're out here getting better. We're out here having fun. Steve Swagness back in action. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Look at that, man. I didn't even realize, because I was holding the other one in my hand. We did pick up a spiky ball. If you guys are from the Carolinas, you know the danger of these things, especially if you go to the American Tobacco Trail or any greenway like that, you're going to pick up one of these guys. The Rock Catcher 5000. I think the brand started trending away from these rock catchers in the latest generation of shoes that's going to be coming out. But in the 2023 to 2024 shoes, these things were everywhere. Let's look at it. Diadora? Yup. New Balance? Yup. Saucony? Yup. I think Asics is the only one that doesn't have it. Yeah. Asics is reasonable. Does Puma have it? Yup. Alright, choices. Dad drip. We're going Cliftons. We have to bless them with the Hoka Cliftons because we were in Rocket X2 earlier. This is the dad drip shoe for the day. Quick refuel here. We are doing leftover pasta from last night, and then Mason and I are gonna go hit IKEA. And I'm taking this on the go. Sourdough toast with honey. We gotta hit this refuel hard. Not messing around. Are you buckled in?
I deserve it all. Keep my name by the rules. Keep my crowd. Crash better break the backboard. I got friends.
Is this saying Spanish?
Yeah, that is. Bang! Let him know, Mace. You gotta let him know. What does it say?
Hobby jogger.
What does it mean to be a hobby jogger?
What gotta work hard.
Let's go. Entering the lion's den with young Mace. We need shelves and we need... What else do we need, Mace?
We need
A buffet? Oh, that's a sick Defender. Shout out to that guy putting in the work. Blacked out.
What's a buffet?
Sick buffet? It's a little side table. More storage for shoes.
gonna hold it. I'm walking sideways because of.
Bro, this is what we need. Gladum.
I'm trying to take a picture of each color.
All right, after a long and draining walk through IKEA, I think walking through the entirety of IKEA is more tiring than a 22-mile long run. But this was our haul today. Kept it simple. I just got the shelf so we can finish it out on 2 shelves. I almost got another bookcase, but then Charles said, I called her, she said, you're gonna have a shoe wall. And I said, yeah, I don't want a shoe wall. I do not want a shoe wall. So just gonna finish it out with these. The IKEA computer said that there were none in stock, but you know what I did? I went and I checked myself and there were some in stock. That's why you gotta use your brain. You can't rely on the internet and technology for everything. You can't AI me, bro. All right, I'll see you when this project is finished. Bang. 1, 2. Still have some work to do tidying up the office, but much better than before. Look at that, 38 over here, 38 over there. Still got the racers on the ground. We'll get those up, but so much better. So much better. And as a celebration of cleaning up my office, I'm gonna open up this box because it's a big box. It's taking up a lot of room. Let's see what Deodora sent us. I think they have some stuff in here for Charles too. Look at that, Cellular Woman, and then we have the Frequenza and the Cellular Mets. So we'll get into these at some point.
Dude, look. Don't what? Is he too close? He's not gonna come any closer, okay? And Reevesy and I went for a drive across the street because he needed some time. And look at that. We have horses, man. They came right up to us. I think they probably think we're gonna feed them, but they're going to town on the grass. They don't care about us. Another one in the back?
Yeah.
I see 3. You see more than 3? He went behind you. See? And I have my recovery lunch here. This is a really late lunch because we went to IKEA. It is 3:07. Holy cow. Can you have some? Yeah, of course, buddy. You want sweet potatoes or Brussels sprouts? Sweet potato, Brussels sprout, Beyond sausage, and rice. Should we get out and eat outside? Okay, let's do it. Man, these guys are getting super close to the Jeep freaking Reevesy app. Look, we're safe inside here, okay, buddy?
This is not a bad place to eat lunch. What do you think? Nice country back road.
What's this, Daddy? It's all back. Not dinner time.
It's not dinner time. For them it is, and we're eating lunch.
Yeah, England.
Thanks, Stu. Can I read it? Be the rainbow in somebody else's storm. I see a squirrel. I hear a squirrel. And I can hear some birds too. Can you hear them?
Daddy, give me that.
Get out, sure.